What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I'm back, this time with another beastly review, as we're going to be checking out the Transformers Rise of the Beasts Beast Mode Bumblebee. Another big old Bumblebee figure to coincide with the upcoming movie, but this one's kind of interesting because much like Optimus Prime, it is a Beast Mode figure, and I do wonder if that's going to be something we see in the film. But anyway, as we check out the box, you know, it's massive. We get this really cool CG render of Bumblebee. He does come with both electronic lights and sounds, and as we come around here to the back of the box, we get all three of the modes. So we have here the Beast Mode, the Robot Mode, and the Vehicle Mode. And I find it kind of interesting they've used the off-road Camaro then as opposed to the regular look. So I wonder if that upgrade in the movie is going to have something to do with the Beast Mode. I guess only time will tell, and he surprisingly comes with 15 sound effects. And considering Bumblebee's a mute character, I am quite interested to show those off to you guys. So with all that being said, let's bring him out here and see how he stacks up alongside the Beast Mode Optimus Prime. And here we have the Beast Mode Bumblebee, and it is a big old figure, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, I bought this so you don't have to. Honestly, just save your money, keep it for some of the Studio Series leaders, or, you know, maybe even the movie line Deluxes and Voyagers, because unfortunately, yeah, this figure's kind of crappy, and it might just be one of the worst Rise of the Beast figures that I've checked out so far, and I understand that it's probably made for the younger collector, but I have a younger brother, and I'm going to be real with you guys, I don't even think he had much enjoyment out of this after the first 5 minutes, because there's really not much you can do with it at all, and the lights and sounds are kind of crappy in comparison to Beast Mode Optimus Prime. And you know, this does retail for £45, so that's very similar to what the old 2011 leaders used to be, and you would kind of expect engineering to get better as the years progress and not worse, because this thing in some ways does remind me of kind of a dollar knockoff toy, which, yeah, it kind of sucks. But anyways, we get stuck into his robot mode. I will say from kind of a display piece perspective, it doesn't look terrible. In some ways, a little nicer looking than Beast Mode Prime, but it's just so cheaply made. You know, for example, the back of the legs have no substance in them at all, and the plastic is so flimsy. I mean, look at that. I don't think I've ever been able to flex a Transformer as much as I have done this one, and I have just activated the gimmick, so we'll have to pack that away for now. You're not maximizing yet, Bumblebee. And not to mention, he also does have hollow head syndrome, which sucks. I mean, the second I see this on any Transformer, immediately I just think it's crap, because come on, Hasbro are the official distributors of Transformers figures. We should not be expecting this type of quality from them, and I understand that it's from the back, but come on, it wouldn't have cost that much surely to just fill in the head, because I've seen knockoffs which do head sculpts better than this guy. So yeah, it does kind of suck, but as I said, you know, the detail is okay, I guess. Now, in terms of his articulation, it's severely lacking. We literally do just get a swivel which can go left to right, some sturdy ball joints, you know, forwards and backwards, a little bit out to the side, as well as an elbow bend, but that is it. Absolutely nothing in terms of the torso downwards, and I understand that it may be due to the gimmick, but if I cast your minds back to the old Dark of the Moon Ironhide, he had 2 AAA batteries smacked in his back, and then this enormous cannon which would shoot out of his chest, and that didn't prevent him from having hips and knees and even a bit of ankle pivot, whereas this guy only has something like 3 button cell batteries, and yeah, he's pretty much a brick, and as you guys can see, his joints don't even want to stay into place. So oh gosh, this guy is not good at all. But anyways, we get stuck into his accessories. He does come with this kind of star saber. I mean, whether or not this is a spoiler for the movie, I guess only time will tell, but pretty nicely sculpted. It has been painted over in this blue, and surprisingly, despite being clear, it is pretty thick and durable. It's just a shame that the figure isn't made out of the same type of plastic that we're seeing here from the transparent blade, which is usually the most fragile. But anyways, we get stuck into his electronic lights and sound gimmick. To be fair, there are some cool things going on here, but I just think it's kind of underwhelming in comparison to Prime. So you are just going to want to push this button. And unfortunately, we get something like 3 phrases here for the robot mode, which sucks. Now, I understand Bumblebee is a mute character in the film, which I cannot believe myself, because, I mean, come on, we're 7 movies into this live-action universe. But, you know, if I cast your minds back to the old Battle Ops Bumblebee, they used to take clips and snippets from the radio. So why they couldn't have done the same here for Bumblebee kind of sucks, and I do not think that red LED works at all here for the robot mode. And then as we come here to the back, this is the button that we'll use for the vehicle mode. If you push it in robot mode, the chest does light up blue, and personally I think that works way better than the red for the robot mode, and considering when he's in vehicle mode, he's kind of like this and that LED is closed, I just think it's kind of pointless because you're never going to see that blue LED. So yeah, they really should have just saved that for a standard robot mode in my opinion, because the red is just not doing it. But anyway, let's maximize him into his beast mode. So much like Optimus Prime, you do take the legs, squeeze them together, and bang! He is maximized into his beast form. And then to kind of finish off the look, you do lift up the forearm guards and flip out these savage looking blades. Now, I personally don't know if this is a look we're going to see in the movie, but if we were, I personally believe the Bumblebee one a little more than the Optimus one. I do just think that there is more potential of him kind of fusing with Air Razor than Optimus fusing with Leo Convoy. But as you guys can see, I mean, come on, that is definitely got to be Air Razor's head. At least that's what I think. And I do like the way the wings kind of eject out the back. That's kind of cool. But as I said, it's a gimmick which very quickly gets old, which is a shame, and it's nowhere near as awesome as some of the older ones we used to see back in 2011, 2009. But let's cycle through a few of the new phrases. So I think in total it's something like 4 here for the beast mode. So again, incredibly underwhelming, especially if you compare that against the Optimus Prime one, which had proper phrases recorded by Peter Cullen. So yeah, kind of lackluster, I'm not going to lie, guys. So I guess the quicker we get this segment over, the better. So let's just jump directly into some of the comparisons. So here we have him alongside the Dark the Moon 2011 leader class Bumblebee, and at least this figure has scale on its side because that is pretty much, unfortunately, all it has going for itself. Now, I completely understand that this figure was probably intended for a slightly younger demographic than myself, but back when I was a child, if you wanted a large-scale Bumblebee which had electronic lights and sounds, this was the figure to go to. So it does kind of suck that the prices have increased because this isn't a cheap figure. You know, this retails anywhere between £45 to £50, yet the quality has massively decreased. It kind of sucks for newer collectors because, as I said, it would be so awesome had they basically just taken what we used to have and expanded upon it, or even just kind of kept the same quality as we saw from the Power Charge Bumblebee that was released in 2018, because that I think was around the same price tag as this guy and was too significantly better. Here's the beast mode Optimus Prime, and I will say that out of the two, overall Bumblebee is probably the better looking figure, but in terms of the gimmick and the whole electronic lights and sounds, gotta give it here to Optimus because his phrases are just 100 times better than whatever they've given us here for Bumblebee. You know, a massive letdown in the sound effects department. Here he is alongside the Rise of the Beast Studio Series Scourge, and there is no competition here at all. You know, despite this Beast Mode Bumblebee being significantly bigger than Scourge, I'd say having these guys hand in hand, there's not much difference in terms of the weight. It's like they literally took the bare minimum plastic and just stretched it as much as they possibly could here with Beast Mode Bumblebee, because internally he is incredibly hollow. I mean, as I said before, there is no substance whatsoever to those legs, and because the blades kind of flip in, these forearms too are completely hollow, and the chest, due to the gimmick, is completely hollow. So yeah, just such a cheap feeling figure, especially for the price point. And then finally, here we have him alongside potentially his individual counterparts. So we have Bumblebee and Air Razor. And are we going to see these two fused in the movie? Honestly, I don't know, but that definitely does look like Air Razor's head to me. So maybe they will. You know, we haven't really seen too much of Bumblebee or Air Razor in regards to the marketing. So maybe they are trying to hide something badass that's going to go down in the final battle. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So to get stuck into the transformation, first of all I want to showcase how you can revert him back to his robot mode, because it can be a little fiddly. So pinch the legs, lift the head up, and then take the bird mode head, flip this back, and then make sure you take this middle piece, flip it here upwards, let go, and hopefully these pieces will kind of clasp over the top. Then we can just snap the head there into place, come around here to the back, and the wings will just clip into these little slots. So do the same here for this side and you are back in robot mode. So transformation wise, you are going to want to take the shoulders and just attach them just like this. Do the same here for this side, and then take these pieces, lift these here all the way up, and do the same here for this side. We can then come around to the back, lift this section here up, and you guys all know how this is going to work. So basically just flex it right in the middle, and then clasp these tabs and slots over the top of one another. We can then come here to the inside, fold the shoulders here down, bring these sections inwards, and the hands are actually going to slide into these little tabs. So snap them in there, and then come here to the side and make sure that this piece is also snapped into place. Do the same here for the opposite side. So just bring this section here inwards, snap that in, and then snap that section in. And now we can come to the legs, which to be fair do have quite a bit of complexity to them. So first up, you're going to want to take the feet. Now they do lock into place, so you're going to want to make sure that you unhook them and then slide them upwards. We can then take this piece, flip this whole section here all the way out, and then extend this joint outwards until it does snap into place. Once you've done that, we can then disengage this grey tab and use both of these hinge joints to bring this here all the way up. And what's going to happen is this little cutout is going to slide into this slot, so just snap that section in there. Do the exact same here for this side, so unhook the foot, slide it into that gap, take this section here, detach it, bring it outwards, and then just fully extend all of this. We can now detach that knee joint, or fake knee joint, I guess you could say, and then just collapse all of this in upon itself, and make sure that you line up that cutout with that slot. Give it a good old squeeze, making sure that everything is nice and tapped in, and then we can just flip here over to the back. Now personally, before you begin to actually snap the two halves together, I'd recommend just sliding these down, getting them into their places, because it just makes things way easier. So slide that little transparent peg underneath, do the same here for this side, and now we can begin to combine the two halves. So literally just snap them all together, make sure the vehicle mode is cleaned up, and bang! Here we have Bumblebee fully transformed into his vehicle mode. And I'm going to give you guys a warning. If you don't like complaining, then switch off now, because as we come here to the back, what on earth is that? Whatever designer allowed this to slip through is an absolute demon, because for £45, that has got to be some of the worst kibble I have ever seen on any Transformer figure, at least within the last decade. That is just severely atrocious. And they've been creating these Bumblebees now since 2007, which have literally the same vehicle mode. You're telling me they can't nick the engineering from a previous figure to get rid of these feet? I'm not buying it at all. I mean, come on, how you could even deem that acceptable is just nuts. I mean, look at it from the side. What on earth? It's like Bumblebee's turned into a snowplower or some kind of trash pickup. It just looks absolutely disgusting. I mean, for 45 quid, guys, honestly, I would never pick this guy up for that price point. I would wait for a massive, massive sale, because this thing to me just screams corners cut. From everywhere you look, it's just compromised. I mean, do you know what? Look how much hollowness there is here for the top. They could have easily shifted these arms up, you know, maybe had these pieces fold up here, and then there would have been a better way, more space for them to have taken these feet and at least flip them forwards. I mean, I wouldn't have even minded had they taken them and flipped them all the way up. At least they wouldn't have been dragging out of the back. So yeah, that is just disgusting. And not to mention, the paint on this guy is atrocious. I'm not too sure how well it's coming across on camera, but this is more of an orange paint when in comparison to the yellow plastic. So yeah, that kind of sucks. And honestly, the vehicle mode, to be fair, doesn't even look the best either. I mean, look at those cheap yellow mushroom pegs. Hasbro are the official creators of Transformers, and they're still giving us products which look this bad in 2023 for a brand new movie. I just don't even know what they were thinking. But anyways, we get stuck into the lights and sound effects. We basically get like two revving sounds and then that same kind of weird radio sound. I mean, that just sucks. And as I said beforehand, you are never going to see that blue LED on the base. So why they didn't keep that colour for the robot mode is just nuts. I mean, the headlights don't even illuminate blue, so it's literally pathetic having that glowing at all. Just such a terrible figure, guys. I am so disappointed by this. And in terms of the weapon, you know, you can smack it onto some of the ports, but in terms of the storage, it is pretty much crap. So just to get this over and done with, for a few vehicle mode comparisons, we have Beast Mode Bumblebee alongside the leader Dark the Moon Bumblebee. And, you know, I guess the old saying's true, because you definitely cannot beat the original. This thing retailed for £45, may have even been cheaper. And I mean, look at that. I'm just going to end the discussion here in regards to these two. Look at the difference between the two. Just literally no competition at all. Here he is next to Beast Mode Optimus Prime, which despite its flaws, you know, despite having this massive gaping hole, still didn't look nowhere near as bad as the kibble that we're seeing here from this Beast Mode Bumblebee. And here is what the both of them look like from a side perspective. I mean, as you can see, those massive old feet don't even fit in full frame. So just terrible, guys. And then this is what they look like from the front. And then finally, we have him alongside the Rise of the Beast movie line Deluxe Class Bumblebee, which also had kind of a foot kibble issue, but I wouldn't even say it was as bad as what we're seeing here from Beast Mode Bumblebee, because they are just atrocious. And wrapping up on this review for the Rise of the Beasts, Beast Mode Bumblebee. To put it bluntly, avoid at all costs. You know, even if this guy is put under severe discount, is he then even worthy of picking up? Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think you should even give this figure the time of day, because there have just been so many corners cut with this guy. Now, I completely understand that it is a gimmick-based figure. It's intended for the younger collector, but for £45, the type of kibble that you're dealing with in the vehicle mode is just unacceptable, and how cheap he feels is terrible. I mean, this guy is only about £5-10 cheaper than your average leader class, and I just do not think you get the quality in this at all. The lights and sounds on this guy are terrible. They're worse than the Beast Mode Optimus Prime. Literally just avoid it, guys. Don't even look at it twice. So I'd love to get your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you guys think of this Beast Mode Bumblebee? Do you agree with my opinion? And until my next video, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.